Oh, you're blocking the light. Okay, so okay, you're blocking the light. Hi, good evening, everyone. Welcome, welcome. So we're just gonna give persons 5 minutes to join. That's why I started at 7:55. So let's just give persons 5 minutes to join. Share the live, message your friends, let everybody know that we're live right now. And I'll be doing some post book launch Q&A. Yes, yes, yes. So I'm actually filming. I'm using my computer and my phone for filming right now. So if my eye contact is off, then you know I had some technical difficulties with the camera. So yeah, we just had to make something work. So we'll give persons 3 more minutes according to my phone to join, and then and then we'll start. Yes. Offer. I think you need to change around the camera because it's not showing properly on Facebook. Okay. Hi, Tani. How are you? Good night. Hi, Tani. How are you? Good night. Okay, so 2 more minutes and then we're starting. So now I have 7:58, 2 more minutes. And then we're starting. Okay, 1 more minute and then we'll be starting. So 1 more minute and then we'll be starting. Share the live, share the live. If anyone have any questions, because I will only be able to see the questions from my direct page. So if anyone have any questions, then just put them into the direct page for me, or you can WhatsApp me at, what's this number, 667-7634, or you can WhatsApp me at 667-7634, and I'll check that. So 1 more minute and then we are starting. Let me share this in my group. Okay, so pause. All right. Hi, welcome everyone. So it's 8 o'clock on my phone. Thank you so much for being here. I know that you have a busy schedule, so we're just gonna be 30 minutes, 45 minutes, the longest, because it's late. And I just want to thank everyone for the overwhelming support of the book launch on Sunday. Oh my God, it superseded our expectations. Oh my goodness. I hope you have gotten your copy of Making It Work After an Affair book. So if you haven't got your copy yet on Amazon, you can always, like I said, if you're on the island of St. Kitts, you can contact me for a physical copy, but make sure you get your copy on Amazon. So we're gonna start with some questions. I had some questions from Sunday that we couldn't answer all. So we're gonna go through them and we're gonna answer some questions. Yes. So the first question that is on this page in no particular order. In no particular order. Okay, let me put this. 1 second. How do I turn this volume down? Okay, all right then. I'm just like working out this whole technical stuff. My tech guy is not here today. So, how do I trust again? This is a common question that one gets all the time. How do you trust again after an affair? And I always said that in order for you to trust someone, you have to be fully healed. Because if you're not healed, then you won't be able to trust. Trust is just a branch of healing, because when you're in pain from the infidelity, all you're seeing is the negativity in the person. All you're seeing is the wrong that the person has done. So it does not matter what they try to do, and it does not matter the necessary steps that they take to show you that you can trust them. Until you are completely healed, you will not be able to display the fruits of trust. And when you have already become healed, you trust them by, I always say, you take their word at face value. And that is super hard to do after they would have betrayed your trust and the marriage or the relationship has been on the decline. So, sorry, my throat is like pretty dry right now. This is one of the issues with live. Okay, so you take their word at face value. So if he's telling you that he's going to the shop, then just take it as that. He's going to the shop. And if he comes back 5 minutes late and he was like, okay, hon, I'm coming back 5 minutes late because I ran into this person, we were having a conversation, you don't go and automatically think like he's lying to you, or he was talking to someone, or he was out there troubling someone, trying to do something to betray your trust again. Just take his word or her word at face value. And that is how you build trust. Everything is a choice. You have to wake up every day choosing to trust that person, and not out there looking to inspect and to take apart what they're saying, because if you go looking for trouble, you will find trouble. You will find trouble, you understand? So I hope that answers that question. So the other question that I have on here was it easy to forgive your husband? Oh my God. In the book, I spoke about this. It was a journey of me forgiving my husband. It took me about 4 years, and it took us about 4 years to overcome this marital typhoon that we were in, because I kept holding on to the pain, and I kept not listening to that small voice that's on the inside of me. On the inside, I am a very intuitive, spiritual person, and there was always something inside of me giving me the guidance about what I should do, about what I should say, about how I should react to certain situations. And most times I will not, because it was challenging my ego, and it was going against everything that I have been taught. It went against everything that I have been programmed to, as to how to respond to situations. And as such, the pain would come more, because then it will develop into an argument. For example, my husband would, let's see, I'm trying to find a good example. So for example, the same one where he's going out. So he goes out, he comes home late because he runs into a friend, and he would tell me like, hey hon, I am late. I met this person, we were having a conversation. And instead of me taking what he said at face value, and instead of me just being quiet and listening to that small voice on the inside, I would then listen to the louder voice, and the louder voice would say, oh, he's lying. Don't trust what he's saying. He was out there speaking to a girl, or he went by the other, or he went by the other woman. or he went by the other woman, and then I would react to that loud voice. I would then get angry, and then I would then respond in a negative way. And once you set a negative energy, you set a negative atmosphere, it is very hard for someone to then walk into that atmosphere and also be positive. So then that would lead to further arguments. So it wasn't easy to forgive him because of the programming that I already had in my mind about how we should respond to certain situations. And just like any of us, a part of you would want that revenge. Let's be real tonight. A part of you would say that I want him to feel the pain that I'm feeling. He doesn't deserve to get off that easily. He doesn't deserve to get off that easily. He should, he should understand the consequences of his actions. And as such, all of that prolonged the healing process. All of that made me stay in that prison of that pain, that prison pain, much longer than needed. It is when I gave into the journey and I said, God, outside of religion. Whenever I'm speaking about God, it is always outside of religion. And I said, God, I know that you love me. And I know that you will never allow anything in this world to harm me. And there must be a purpose as to why you have allowed this pain to come. Do not allow me to overcome this pain until I have learned what you want me to learn. Now, that is a powerful thing. Like, oh my, I'm just thinking about this. Like, when you say something of such, that is very deep. That shows a level of spiritual growth. And I'm saying, God, do not allow me to overcome this challenge. Do not allow this pain to go until I have learned what you want me to learn. And it's when I said that, and I meant it, and I gave myself to God and say, what is it you're trying to teach me? What is it you're trying to show me? What is it about me that needs changing? What is it? How can I use the situation to my advantage? And when I do that, I open up myself to God. I open up myself to receive, because you would realize certain persons will not give you certain information if you're not ready yet for it. So God would not yet willing to give me that information that I need to go forward, because all I was doing was resisting the process. I wasn't allowing myself to embrace the process. And that is one of the things with us, is that we're not yet willing to embrace the process. We are resisting the process. And the more you resist it, the more difficult it becomes, and the more painful it becomes, and the longer it becomes to your healing and to overcoming this trying time. And as I get into the process, God started revealing that about me that needed changing. I started seeing that my character needed changing. My response to situations needed changing. My thoughts needed changing, because the first, I had programmed myself so much in life to think that as soon as something comes, I think the negative of it. I allow whatever I was going through at that particular moment to take root and to direct my thoughts. So as I gave myself to that process and God started revealing these things about me to change, the next logical question I would say to him is, how do I change? How do I become better? Because if you're telling me this thing is wrong about me, then you should be able to give me the necessary tools and strategies that I need. And he put the particular persons in my life. I am telling you, it pays to have friends in your life who is going to be honest with you. My spiritual father, I would call him up, and I have a few friends that I can call and say, what about me that needs changing? What about me that you see inside of me that needs changing? What about my character? What about my approach? And these persons love me enough to say, you know what, Patrice? The way you speak to people, your response, your attitude and approach to situations, they need changing. They gave me a whole list of what needed changing. And during this process, my spirit led me to the meditation center here on the island. And that is when real change started happening, because I was then taught how to control my thoughts. Because with church, we are taught, you pray to God, you connect to God, but we are never really sat down and taught, how do you control your thoughts? How do you remain silent? Because with church is about prayer, which is loud. Meditation is about being silent in the presence of God and listening. So prayer is like a request. Meditation is listening. And with me learning to control my thoughts and knowing how to rid myself of negative thoughts, because we have a lot of negative thoughts. We have a lot of wasteful thoughts that pass through. It's not everything that comes in your mind that you need to think of. It is not everything that happens you need to have a negative outlook on it. So once I learned to control my thoughts, once I learned to be silent, once I learned to categorize positive thoughts from negative thoughts, that took a whole change. And one of the things that brought about a lot of healing, because the way I would respond to my husband would change. The way I would respond to situation would change. I was now setting and creating a positive atmosphere. And when you create a positive atmosphere, anyone who steps into that atmosphere, anything that steps into that atmosphere, does not have a choice but to change. So with all of these things, it led to me forgiving him. So in short answer, it took a while for me to forgive him. But I just wanted you to walk you through the steps of how I got to forgiveness, of how I got to just let it go. And as I got through meditation, I was able to reflect on his ways. I was able to see the good inside of him and see that he truly was sorry for his ways. Because they will show us that they're sorry. They will do the necessary work that they need to do to show us that they're sorry. But because you're in so much pain, you are expecting so much more. And there's only so much that a person can do for you. There's only so much that a person can say that they're sorry. You have a responsibility to heal. You are responsible for your own healing. You are responsible for building back your own self. Of course, you're in a relationship. That person hurts you. The only responsibility that they have to you is saying that I am sorry. And whatever commitment that they make to you afterwards, they upkeep that commitment. But you are in turn, you have to take responsibility. And I think this is the way that the world works, is that we take away that responsibility from ourselves and give it to the cheater, the man or the woman who have done it wrong. And because you don't take that responsibility, you never become healed. Until you take responsibility for your action, you will never be able to heal, and you will never be able to forgive your spouse, and you will never be able to be fully happy and enjoy all the goodness of life. So I think that answers that one. I will now go on to the other question. Why did I say it? That is in the book. I want you to read the book. That is in the book. And you say, how would you be able to trust them again not to cheat? That's a very, very important question. As I've said, you are only responsible for your actions. You cannot dictate and you cannot control what someone is going to do. You don't have no control over that. All you can do is be the best version of your own self. Make sure that you create a positive atmosphere at home. Meaning that a positive atmosphere is that you're always happy. You always choose to be happy. If they do something that you don't like, rather than saying it in a very disrespectful form, you say, hon, this thing you have done, it has caused pain to me. And I would appreciate if you refrain from doing such thing. And in the future, this is how you can do it in order not to cause such pain again. And once you create that positive atmosphere, anybody would want to be around you. Anybody would want to be the best version of themselves. And I am not just telling you this for words. This is something that I teach to my mentees and to my clients. And when they would initially come to me, I was literally speaking to one of my daughters, and she has given me permission to talk. Of course, I will not go into much details. And she was going through a very challenging time in her relationship. And I said to her, you need to set a positive atmosphere. And she said, oh, Patrice, you don't know him. He could never change. You don't know how stubborn he is. You don't know how mean he is. I said, let me tell you something. Positivity and love, they can destroy any mountain. I am not talking about sexual love. I am talking about love, kindness, about being authentic to that person, about showing care to that person, that common care to that person. When they come around, hi, good morning, how was your day? You understand? If this is something to you that you don't like, I don't like how you respond to me. Don't say that again, you understand? And then you would tell them how you would like to be treated. If they come by you and they say, good morning, you sit back, you don't ever give off that negative energy, because with that time, love would break down those walls, and it would create that positive atmosphere, and it would create that positive energy, and it will remind him of why he fell in love with you in the first place. And knowing that he has hurt you and you are treating him or her with so much kindness, their conscience would definitely be counseling them on their actions, and they would want. And you have to trust in your relationship. Trust in the love that you have. If you can't trust in the person, trust in the love that you have for that person. Trust that that person loves you so much that they will not do anything to bring any harm to you. Trust that that person will not consciously cause pain to you. Trust that that person respects you enough as their husband, their wife, their girlfriend, whatever title that you need. That is how you trust that person not to cheat again. Because you spend so much time worrying about what they do. You are not their mother or their father. You're only responsible for you. And it took me a very long time to learn this, because you become so fearful, and in that moment of fear, you are afraid of losing them. You are afraid of being alone. You are afraid of what others would say. And because you are afraid of losing, you put chain restrictions on them, not knowing that these restrictions and your demanding behavior is only pushing them away. But if you use love, be kind. If you're going out, buy food for them, think about them, message them during the day, how are you doing? Just do those things when you fell in love in the first place. Do those things that attracted that person to you, because they know what they've done to you. They have not forgotten, because even though you are feeling pain, they themselves are feeling pain. They are being overwhelmed with guilt and shame, and they beat themselves up. And with you constantly reminding them about what they do, that could definitely have a negative impact on their mental health and on their self-esteem. Yes, it is. It actually does. It actually does. The next question is, well, this has nothing to do with cheating. How often couples should have sex? As often as you want to. As often as you want to. No one should tell you or put any limits on how often you should do you. Do what makes you happy. You understand? Do what makes you happy. How long should the healing process be? And I always said that, and this is something that I learned along the journey. If it takes you more than a year for that healing to come about, then you know that there is something much more inside of you that needs changing. Now, this is a reflection upon you, because how much longer? Every day you're waking up choosing to be in pain. Every day you're waking up reminding yourself, reliving this pain. the thing that I see is that we spend so much money on materialistic things. We spend so much money on makeup, on lipsticks, on our clothing, on food, on going out and the latest gadgets and all of these things, but we do not invest in our emotional and mental health. We do not seek the professional help that we need. If it's taking you longer than a year, that means you need to go and seek professional help so that they can give you the tools. And I'm not talking about a pastor. I am talking about someone who is certified in counseling, or someone who is certified in coaching, because there you will get the different necessary tools that you need in order to heal. They would guide you through the process of why. They will take you to the very foundation of why are you thinking this way? Why is this thing causing you so much pain? Why is him cheating on you so much more painful than him lying to you? So these are the different tools and techniques that you would learn in counseling. You would definitely get homework about how to manage and take an inventory of your thoughts, because it's in the mind is where the battle is. It's in the mind. It is in the mind. And when that lens of fear takes hold, oh my goodness. That lens of fear, it's the monster. That lens of fear, it is the birth of everything. It birthed jealousy, it births anger, it birthed unforgiveness, it birthed lack of trust, it birthed bitterness. All of that lens of fear. And that's why we should always strive to see through the lens of love. Whenever you're going through a difficult time, do your best. And this is one of the strategies I write in the book. I will share with you. Write down something good about your spouse every single day, because when that lens of fear takes hold, you want to be able to combat it with something that you can see, because you won't be able to remember anything good about him. So you need, or her, you need to go to that, your pen and paper, and remind yourself of why you fell in love with that person. Remind yourself that their good qualities outweigh their bad qualities. Another question I have is, how did I let it go? You know what? After so many years of being in pain and so many years of tormenting myself, and this is one of the things that helped me through the writing process, because when I was writing, I was so scared. Like, my editor, she wouldn't even know that I was scared, because I was like showing bold face, but I was so scared about sharing my story, because I did not know what persons would say, or how they would view me or my husband. Like, I would think about all the negative things and everything that can go wrong. And I was watching a television show, and it was Married to Medicine, and Dr. Jackie, she went through the same thing that I went through with my husband, and it was so similar. And a year later, she was on the show, and she was like, I don't have any triggers. I don't have anything. I trust my husband completely. I am not with that. And this is a year later. And I am like, I've been going through this thing for 4 years. You know what? Let me choose to let this go too, and stop holding on to it. Let me choose to decide to be happy. Let me choose to believe what my husband is saying. And also, there was another incident. I will not speak about this because it is in the book, and that was the great turning point of our marriage. That was the great turning point of our marriage. That was the last argument, like that type of argument that we had. And I had a one-on-one with God, and with that day, I said, this is it. I am done holding on to this pain. From today, I am choosing happiness. From today, I am choosing to love my husband. From today, I am choosing to believe in every single thing that he's saying. And when I decided to make that conscious decision, my marriage changed for the better. So that is in the book. I want you to definitely read that, because that is in the book. Is counseling necessary for healing? Yes. Counseling is necessary for healing, because when you are going through this time, you do not know, your emotions are all over the place. If it's your first time experiencing infidelity or any type of that magnitude of betrayal, you do not know how you feel. One day you're going to be happy, one day you're going to be sad, one day you're going to be numb. You are going to go through a roller coaster of emotions, and it is very helpful when you can have a professional help you to understand what you're feeling and giving you the necessary tools that you need to heal. It is good when you have a professional to hold your hand and walk you through the process, because most times we like to say, you know what, I got this. I was literally speaking to a young lady the other day, and I see that she needed help. And I said to her, I am here to help you. No charge, no nothing, because at the end of the day, I am a black woman. I am a woman. And you are a woman. You are a mother. And we are here to help each other. It is not always about the money, but it is never okay with me when I see another woman not being okay mentally and emotionally. And I told her I would work along with you. And she was like, it's all right, I'm going to be fine. I will deal with it on my own. And she's not fine, because you cannot deal with such a thing by yourself. If you cut yourself very deeply on your hand with a knife, you cannot deal with it on your own. You will go to the hospital so that they can treat it and that they can stitch it so that it doesn't bleed out. And that is what you need, and that is what the counselor will do. They will treat your wound and they will stitch it, and then they will make sure that they stay and they mend the wound and they take care of the wound until it heals. And that is what they do to you. So coaching and counseling, it is very, very important in the healing process. Even if you can, and that is one of the reasons why I started my initiative, Afre Building Her Global Initiative. And this initiative is to connect women with counselors and coaches so that they can have the necessary professional tools that they need to heal, that they need to overcome the hurt and the betrayal, so that they can go into another relationship healed, happy, and functional. Because too much times we're taking our baggage into another relationship, and that is not healthy. That is not healthy. So we're all about building women. We're all about healing women, and it's our motto at Afre Building Her Global Initiative that a healed woman equals a happy child, equals a happy man, equals a better society. Yes, yes. I have another question here, and give me 1 second. There was another question on here that I wanted to answer. And okay, it was, yes. How do you help someone get over a past affair in a new relationship? And I always say this: make sure you're healed before you go into another relationship. We have this mindset, and I don't know where this mindset comes from, is that all men are bad. And I always tell women, I've never found a bad man. All of my relationships, the guys are exceptionally good. They treat me like a queen. You know, for whatever reason, it wouldn't have worked out in the past, because that their chapter in my life has ended. And you have to learn to compartmentalize, not because one man has hurt you, mean that that other person would also hurt you. So imagine, I am just meeting you for the first time. I see you, I fall in love with you, we're in a relationship, and here you are placing blame on me for something that I had nothing to do with. You are bringing this negative energy and beating me, and I am paying the consequences of something that I have never done. What do you think would happen? How would you feel? Always put yourself in the other person's shoes. And that is also something that helped me along the healing process, is putting myself in my husband's shoes, understanding, trying to see the world through his lens, trying to understand through his mindset. How would you feel? You have just entered a relationship with a guy, and you are suffering from the other girl's actions. You will not like it. You will not even want to be in that relationship anymore, because we do not like to be around persons who bring negativity around us. You don't want to do that. make sure that you are healed. So many times I see girls, they go into relationships and there's so many red flags, but you go on there. For example, and this is something very, very common. And the last time I spoke about this sparked debates in offices. Persons message my phone. Listen, persons message my phone. It was like, they didn't respond in social media, but they were DMing me. I need to say, stop DMing me and go on my social media page so I can build my following. And it was like, you go into a relationship. A guy, he has children. He is not looking after the children that he has presently. And then you go and you get pregnant for him. And then you become hurt and angry and bitter that he is not looking after your child. If you're in a relationship with a man and he's not looking after his children, that shows how he's going to treat your children. Why do you think that he will treat you and your child any different? Like, honestly, why do you think that? So this is a major red flag. So when we see these red flags, we still proceed. And then we become hurt. That's just one example. I'm not saying that's the only thing. That's just one example. So you see the red flags, you continue, and then you get hurt. And then you do not become healed, so you become bitter. And when you become bitter, bitter is like a sore that just keeps getting infected, and it starts smelling, and it starts growing and spreading to your bones, through your muscles, through all. That is what bitterness is. So leave that. One of the things in life is that I have been so successful at is just taking responsibility for my actions. If something happens to me, I said, you know what? Shit happens. It just happened to happen to me. You know what? That person wasn't meant for me and them to be together. Deuces, on to the next. It's very simple as that. But when you're in a marriage, it is different from when you're in a relationship. Because once you're in a marriage, you've made a commitment. And you have that commitment to make sure that your relationship works. You make a personal vow, not only to God, but to yourself, that you will do all in your power to make sure that this thing works out. And I think that answers that one. Okay, and one more question. This is the last question. And then if no one have any other questions, then we'll be ending the live here. And this one, it says, does a woman has a right to engage in her husband's family affair? The Bible says, and the two became one. So his problems have now become your problems. I believe your spouse is someone who should help you when you're going through whatever trials and tribulations. They should be there, but it all depends on your approach. Because if he's having problems with his family members, and you go and approach those family members very hostile, very disrespectful, you're going to get that same energy back. It's not most persons, when you go to them with a negative energy, that in return you get a positive energy. Most persons' mindset is that the same energy you give me is the same energy you are going to get from me. And like we said, that is not healthy. So if you're going to get involved in his family affair, make sure that you come in on a very respectful ground. Make sure that you come in on a neutral ground. You're coming in a way of resolving the issue and not trying to divide, because at the end of the day, they're family members, and you should always make sure to maintain that relationship and make sure to make that relationship as healthy as possible. So if your husband and his mother are having some type of disagreement, instead of calling the mother and disrespecting the mother or sending disrespectful text message, find a way for them to sit down and speak and resolve the situation. And I'll just throw in a last bonus question. how can someone tell that their spouse is cheating? Listen, if you know me, my friends know me, they call me Patrice the Investigator. If you want to find out anything, you call me, I would find out that information in a matter of minutes. And there are so many ways you have to be intertwined. Some of us, we get into relationships and we're not even aware of what is going on around us. We don't even know what is our husband's or our spouse's favorite food or their favorite color. We don't know who their friends are. You should know everything. I'm not saying like going around with a pen and recording, but you should take mental notes. Know who his friends are. You should know his you should learn his behavior patterns. You should know how his schedule normally is. See if it's off track. It's small little things that small little things that will let you know that, hey, something is not up. Something is not right. Let me just keep my spidey senses open. So one of the main ways that you can detect that your spouse is cheating is when there's a drastic change in their normal routine. So when there's that drastic change in their normal routine, I am not saying that that is definitive that they're cheating. I am just saying that that is something for you to look and say, okay, all right, let's just keep monitoring this. Something is not right. Let me investigate a little bit more. Yeah, okay, all right, this one and two put together. Yeah, and then, the chain, if you go looking for something, you would always find it. So when you're going to look to see if your spouse is cheating on you, make sure that you're ready to deal with the information that you find, because many of us go looking for information, and when we get the answer that we want, when we get the answer, it's not the answer that you want, and now you have a whole heartbreak, and now it's a whole different scenario. So when you go looking for answers, make sure that you can deal with the answers. And if you can't deal with the answers, just call me, go onto my website www.patriceoffer.com, and I would help you to process those. So I think that is it for here tonight. If you have not, go out and get a copy of Making It Work After an Affair. It teaches you how to self-heal. It teaches you how to restore and rebuild your relationship after infidelity. One of the things when you're going through pain is that when I used to buy so many books and they have so much information, so much fluffed up information, and the information that I really need is just this small amount of it, but because there's so many information, you wouldn't even get to it. I bought so many books and only read one chapter. So this book was designed to get you to the answer straight away. I give you some stories to help bring the point over, and then I hit you with the hardcore advice as to what you need to do. So you don't have to flick through hundreds of pages to get to that answer. The answer is all in your hand. Every page is going to be helpful. Every page is going to be beneficial to your journey. I could have fluffed this up with all kind of information that didn't need to be put in there, all kind of definition and statistics, and it was like, when you are hurt, you just want it now. Like, tell me what I need to do to become healed. Tell me what I need to do again to restore my relationship. Tell me what I need to do to restructure my relationship. And this is what this does. It gives you the answer directly. I make it so that you can read it very easily. I know much persons don't like reading, so it's a very easy read. And it's a very exciting read and a very beneficial read. So get your copies on Amazon today, on Kindle version and on paperback. If you're on the island and you don't have Amazon, you can just contact me. Contact me through Facebook or my website, www.patriceoffer.com, and I will get your copy right now. The first batch is sold out. Like, oh my God, I am so overwhelmed with the support. The first batch is sold out, and right now Amazon is experiencing some delay in their printing. So by the middle of November, I should have the copies. So just call me and I would add you to the pre-order list. So the pre-order list is already growing. It's already growing, and yeah, we should have enough books to cover everybody and even more. So thank you so much for supporting. I am going to be on the radio next week, Wednesday at 8 p.m. I think it's Sugar City FM. And I'm also going to be on Win FM 98.9 at 11 a.m. to 12 a.m. on Monday coming. So thanks again. Love you guys. Have a good night.